Hello, everybody. My name is Patrick Dennis with Synaptic Advisory Partners, and today we're going to take some time to go through a video of how you could use Youreka to basically collect customer satisfaction information from your customers. What we're going to do is actually send an email out, have folks fill out a Youreka form about their experience with our organization, whether or not they're satisfied with our service, and then all that information that we collect from them is going to be stored back inside of Salesforce so that we can manage other business processes that might be dependent on this customer satisfaction data. So let's get right into it. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Youreka, just a quick 30-second overview here is we're a Salesforce native forms application, which means that you can find us right on the Salesforce App Exchange. Basically, if you think about it, anytime folks are filling out forms, entering information, assessments, inspections, surveys, audits, you name it, anytime someone needs to fill out a form to put information back into Salesforce, that's what Youreka was designed to do. We work really well with mobile use cases with our mobile application, but in today's use case, we're going to talk about kind of the more desktop application where we're collecting information from our customers. We service three different types of users, is kind of how I like to think of it, both internal users, which means the folks that are working inside of your internal Salesforce org. We also service communities users. So if you have communities users that need to be filling out forms from their community, we can present forms to them that way. Or in this case, from today's video, we're going to be talking about external users. So the people that have no access at all to your Salesforce environment, but that you still want to collect some information from and have that data map back to your org. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So the flow of information that we're going to kind of go through is, first of all, we're going to design a form inside of Salesforce using Youreka's form template builder. And we're basically going to kind of drag and drop questions onto the canvas and design our customer satisfaction survey. After that, I'm going to take a little bit of time to just outline the way that I'm using Salesforce automation to make this thing work. So we're going to be using email templates to kind of send out these surveys to people and collect that information. We're going to actually send the survey to somebody. In this case, it's going to be my personal email address. We're going to fill out the form, and then we're going to come back to Salesforce and view that data and kind of see how things shake out. So with that said, I'm going to head on over to my Salesforce environment, and immediately we're presented with some information about what Youreka looks like inside of our environment. So I just created an org right here for the purposes of this demonstration. And what we'll notice is that there's actually some very basic things across the top here. There's nothing fancy about this. It's your standard accounts, contacts, opportunities, whatever those objects are at the top for your tabs. We've got those here. And then we also have a couple of special objects. For those of you that are not familiar with Youreka, when you install our package, you receive a couple of new objects, both forms, form templates, and several others. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to talk about those two. And then we got some reports and dashboards, and I'll go through some of the reports that I built for the purposes of this demonstration. But the very first thing we're going to want to do here is actually just open up our form template editor. And so when we do that, we're presented with this screen where we can actually just build our first form template. And so it's very easy to do. There's no code involved. You basically just drag sections on here, and we'll just call this general information, for example. And here we can sort of just say drag questions onto the canvas. And this is how we can really design the form template as we want users to be able to see it. There's all sorts of different question types. We can either have the questions just purely right here on the form, or we can link to objects in the system and link to the fields on those objects. It totally depends on the type of information that you want to collect. But the point is that when we're done, it's going to look something that's much more full, where we have first name, last name, and a bunch of questions and information specific about to customer satisfaction use cases. Here's an example of one that I have already completed. So this is a completed form, one that looks like one that we might build. So I've got the first and last name of the person that we're going to send it to, and then just some simple questions like how satisfied were you with our service, which is a pick list. We've got kind of a numeric scale here, call this a net promoter score, if you will. And then we also are using Youreka's conditional display logic, which you'll see when I fill out the form. But if anybody says that it's a neutral or dissatisfied response here, we're actually going to offer them the ability to tell us what we could have done better. With that said, I'm going to sign off. Feel free to shoot me an email if you have questions or comments around this video. If you want to talk specifically about your use case, feel free to reach out to us or visit us at Youreka.io to learn more. And certainly feel free to go to the App Exchange and find us there, where you can install Youreka into your Salesforce environment, give it a trial, and let us know what you think. Thanks, everybody.